let's just begin. Little about myself. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Michał Krachecki, you can call me Mike. I'm account manager and sales manager in Langline. Langline is a Polish company. We are based in the capital city of Warsaw. And what we do, some of you know, some of you don't. We are designing software for language schools mainly. And this software is about 5 years on the market now. If you'd be interested in seeing this software, just please let me know. This is what I do here. But except for selling the software and taking care of my clients, I also sometimes do such webinars like this one. And today we're going to talk about professional and creative email marketing and about the tools that you can use for them. Mainly, I will present you the do's and don'ts of email marketing. I will give you some tips. I will show you nice, interesting ways how to gather leads, how to attract people's attention, and later I will show you a few examples of the campaign in MailChimp and in ActiveTrail, two of the software systems I chosen for today, and I will show you a few examples of nice emails at the end. And of course, I will be waiting for your questions in the meantime. This webinar will take more or less 45-50 minutes, and the rest will be for questions and discussion, of course, if you'd be interested. But let's just start with talking about the basics of email marketing. Okay, so let me just start the presentation. I hope that you will be able to see everything correctly. Later on, this webinar will be offered to you as a recording. So if somebody couldn't stay until the end, there's no problem. I can send you the rest. Let's say that you could see this at home on YouTube, because every webinar like this we upload to our YouTube channel. So you will get a link from it. Okay, so let's just begin. In the beginning, I would like to ask you a question, so it will be a reversed thing here. Question is a very easy one. So, do you even send the campaigns? So please answer, and let's see what's the distribution. I'll wait for a second. Okay, 100% of voting people, they answered that yes. So that's a good sign. You are doing it, and let's say that this is a good way to begin, because I know that you are using CRMs or software for sending out mailings, and of course the basics of sending a good campaign is first to gather the leads. So there are many ways to gather the leads. Some of you gathered it because of the newsletters. Some of you gathered these emails from the companies that you're cooperating with. You get them on social media, etc. Remember that the very good way to gather leads and use them in mailing campaigns, those are the former students, because former students, they usually, the research shows that people like to be contacted by the companies that they were connected with in some way. So in this case, if somebody was learning at your school, and of course if he has good memories, good experience, so it's very likely that at some point he will be interested in another offer. Because with languages, and you know this well, it's almost never that you are perfect. You almost never finish the whole process, because we learn the language all our lives. So it's not like somebody finished the course and that's the end, and you don't have any other things to offer to such a person. So remember, gather leads about old students, about former students, keep them on separate sheets, and later on to the CRMs or to special mailing tools, you will be able to upload such a list and send a personalized campaign for such people. The second way to gain email addresses, those are social media. For example, Facebook. I encourage you to search for our channel on YouTube, just input Langlion, because I was doing a webinar about social media marketing, and I was showing and to the viewers things like Facebook Pixel, a very good way to remarket. So when you imagine that you are inserting a small graphics that's invisible on a website or on a landing page, and then all the people that visited your website, when they log into Facebook, they can get a personalized marketing message. So a proposed post from your school, for example, with the offer to download free materials or to subscribe to newsletter, and you just, I mean, if they do this through Facebook, you will get their email. So this is another way to use it for remarketing and gathering leads. And remember that from Facebook, you can also transfer from one program to another leads, for example, with MailChimp. So if you are using MailChimp and if you are using social media for marketing, remember that you can upload to Facebook your leads from MailChimp, and all the people who are using, of course, the same email for Facebook and the same email they gave you at some point, so they will get a message on Facebook, a post from your school offering them something. So just bear in mind that social media also can be used for gathering emails and gathering valuable emails. So actual people who will read your post. Okay. The third option is a vast one, as you can see. So those are webinars, trainings, ebooks, demonstration lessons, landing pages, and special offers. And something about every part. You see, you are on my webinar. You're listening to me, and I gather your leads. So I can use those leads, in theory, of course. I won't do this, don't worry, to sell you something, right? So I can send you another message. You are learning something from me. We can discuss, we can learn something from each other. So this is a value, added value for every part of this webinar. So for me and for you. And if you organize a webinar about languages, about culture, about your offer even, so a demonstration webinar, so you can gather leads of the people who are really interested in the topic. Because if you sign up and if you come to the webinar, you're really interested in something, right? The same goes for trainings. Why not offering a training for example, for companies, for managers? Come to the online training and learn how to use professional English in documents, in writing legal papers, things like this. So just bear this in mind. Ebooks. For example, Langlion also, we published few ebooks in English and Spanish and Polish. You can offer on your website or in social media, as I told you before, an ebook to download. An ebook can be about everything. It can be about the language itself, so a manual for self-learning, for example. It can be also something more of a content, so something about England, something about USA, something about any country and culture and language in theoretical way. Do as you please in case of the ebooks, but remember that this is a good way to show that you are really a big deal. Demonstration lessons also, they can be performed online. So by inviting people to demonstration lessons online, you can gather leads, and also you can invite people over to the school. Of course, whisper marketing is working the best in here, and the only requirement is that they leave you an email address. So later on, even if they don't sign up instantaneously after seeing this this lesson, you can send them a reminder. You visited us. Tell us about your feedback. What you liked, what you didn't like. Are you interested in our course? Things like that. So this is a good option to gather leads. And special offers. You can invite people to a newsletter or write simply on your website that if somebody leaves you an email address, so they will get a special offer. They will get a discount. And of course, this discount can be only reserved for the people who will leave you their emails, or simply to everybody. But it's a way to attract attention. Display such headline on the top of your page. Subscribe now to our newsletter, or simply leave us your email address. You will get a special offer and you will be contacted by one of our representatives. Things like that. So just bear this in mind. I would like to focus a bit about newsletters, because this is something quite popular. For example, the thing that you are seeing right now, it's a very easy and simply constructed subscription form. So people just leave the name, first name, email address, and they get monthly, or it depends, of course. Here it's a month, but they get the message, and they can learn new things about the school. This is, of course, a very easy one. Everyone could create such a newsletter on the web. There are many extensions for WordPress, for example. So if you have a website in WordPress, you can add an extension for newsletters, and it can be, of course, even more attractive than this one. This is a very simple one. This one is in Polish. Of course, not everybody understands Polish, but I will explain. This is simply more described. So here there are listed benefits of this newsletter. So you will learn about new publications, you will get monthly information about the offer, you will get to know our teachers. First, you will receive discount coupons, things like that. So you can make it very simple, or you can make it elaborate like this one. So you can describe the benefits, and actually I recommend this style, because if I log on to a website and I just read subscribe to our newsletter, I just don't do this. Why? Because, well, I don't know what's the purpose. But if you explain to me, as an owner of the company, as an owner of the school, if you explain to me why I should leave my email, list me the benefits of this action, so I'm more likely to decide. This is human psychics. Okay. The last example of newsletters, kind of a newsletter, is a word of the day. Maybe you have this, maybe you don't, but there are a lot of schools that offer, in return for the email address, they offer some content every day. So a word and examples with this word, some sentences. So if you are really passionate about learning the language, every day you can get a new word and constructions with this word, so you can even learn more. So this shows that you are really committed to your business, because every day or every week you need to prepare the mailings. So this is something that people will notice for sure. So how you will gather the leads? Of course, you have very different ways how to do this. I suggest you combine them all, because those are different leads. From social media, this will be different kind of people. From newsletter, this will be probably another group of people. Word of the day, different type of people. So you just should try with everything. And in this case, more leads mean more possibilities. Of course, people can say there are good quality leads and bad quality leads. I agree. Of course, we as a company, we always have bad leads and good leads. However, it's better to have more and filter them out later on, after, for example, a campaign goes not so well, than when you don't have leads at all. So just bear this in mind. Okay, basic things that you should do. And things to remember about. When you are sending the message, so of course you need to tell people who is sending the message. So my suggestion is that you always remember to put a real person, an actual employee. It can be the person who prepares the newsletter, but also if you have a marketing department, and marketing department takes care of mailings, so you can select here a person from sales, for example, and all of the people who would be interested in the offer, they can respond to a real person. And why is this important? Because people don't like to get messages from info@languageschool.com or info@cardealer.com. Why? Because we feel like like robots. We are robots messaged by robots. We just don't notice those messages anymore. And if you get an email from actual person, so first of all, this is also proven scientifically that you are thinking about, is this a person that I know or not? This is your first thought in many situations. Of course, after a moment, you realize, no, I don't know him, but you are still interested. You are thinking more than a millisecond about this email. So this is a success, because today you get thousands of messages with offers. So if a real person sends you a message, and if this person includes information about him or herself in the footer, and if he or she adds a photo, so it's more likely that you trust this company, because okay, somebody shows his face, somebody writes his real name, so probably this company is not a scam. It's a real company and real people. So maybe I should answer. Maybe I will read what's next. Maybe I will click the link. If we see that we get mail from info or contact, so we treat this as a robot, as an automatic function. So we are not interested. Of course, all this depends on the person, but it's more likely that you click or you are interested in the message if you get it from a real person. So John Smith at languageschool.com is better than info@languageschool.com. Just remember this. In case of the people who are receiving your messages, so remember to hide other receivers, because sometimes you get the message from usually this is an experienced company. They just forget to click this option to hide contacts, because nobody would like to get all the emails shared from his database with all of the people who is he sending to. So that can create problems, and it's very unprofessional. So remember to do such a thing. Remember not to display all the receivers. And it's a good way also to create personalized emails. So what I mean by personalized emails, when we write an email, so we usually write something like dear and then the name, or good morning, things like that. But we can also insert from many mailing tools like MailChimp, for example, or CRMs like we have, for example, at Langley we have Sugar CRM. You can insert real name of the person, of the contact that you are sending the message to. So they can get an email saying, dear Michael, dear John. And in some languages, like in ours, in Polish language, we have conjugation of the names. So if we are saying dear Michael, so we are not saying this the same way as English people do. My name is Michał, but it would be drogi Michale. So those tools are really advanced because they can conjugate the surnames. And I believe that in some other languages, especially Slavic, the names also are conjugated. So this is a very important thing, that you don't have to deal with situations when you write it in the wrong form. It can be all done by those tools. And the topic is very important thing, one of the most important thing, because it attracts people's attention. So first of all, remember less is more in this situation. So be as precise as you can. 10 words maximum is in my opinion a good topic. More it can be complicated, not because it's too long to be read. It's too long because it's boring, but it's simply too long to be displayed correctly in the email inbox. So this is a technical thing here, not only psychological, but it's a marketing thing, but it's also a technical thing here. The message should be simple. So you need to give away right away the idea what this is about. Of course, sometimes it can be more of a secret. Okay, what's this? You can inspire people to open the email because they're interested about the topic. It can be done. However, I think that in case of language school offers especially, so it's good to be straight away in case of the message. So I prepared, for example, here those are newsletter and offers of language schools that we receive sometimes. This is prepared by my colleague Agnieszka, and she receives such information. Some of them, they are very clear. Some of them, they are not. For example, this one in Polish means special offer, earlier, less expensive. Well, but is this a language course? I don't know. It can be a car. It can be a photo camera. It can be, I don't know, wedding. It can be whatever person imagines. So it's not good. For example, this "Don't be a tourist this summer." This is some kind of inspiring, because what you mean by tourist? Maybe I'll click, because is it about travel, or is it about language? You don't know, so maybe you'll be inspired. So this case that I think that you can use sometimes hidden messages, but it's completely up to you here. I suggest that you keep the message simple. Um, as you can see, some of them, they contain emojis. Here, this example, in my opinion, this is a bad example, because too much emojis. This message seems unprofessional. However, the text is very simple. There's intensive course for summer and last spots, but this I don't know, sun. Yeah, this is sun. This is for summer. This is not good in my opinion. This is simply too much. But a single emoji in the beginning or at the end, it's something different. So when you get this, and if it's of course displayed in your inbox correctly, so this looks interesting, and this is a clear message, for example. Here also, it's not a bad idea to put at the end and at the beginning. However, I would suggest sticking only with one. Here there's one mistake. Don't use exclamation marks, and this is a rule that I usually try to stick with. Exclamation mark usually suggests that this is an offer and somebody would like to take money from you, right? Because buy now, right away, buy now, because it's the last chance offer. We are not anymore moved by such things. So I suggest no exclamation marks. Well, sometimes they are required, but in usual situations when you're presenting the offer the traditional way, just don't. Um, Talking about visual identification, visual communication, because it's not only the text in the email, but it's also the color and the way how you present the message. So first of all, people are different, genders are different in this case, so we like different colors. As you can see here on this first graphic, women prefer, for example, instead of men, they like more the color of purple. So if you have courses for women, because I know the schools that they have courses for women only, think about colors that are especially accepted by women. If you are, for example, aiming your campaign at company managers, and don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely favor quotas, etc. But usually managers, especially in, for example, my country, those are men, and business English usually is learned by men. So blue or black, it can be a good idea. Of course, it depends on your culture, it depends on your country, but usually the safest color here is the blue, because it's accepted by the women and by men. It's a color that represents trust, tranquility, and trustworthiness, right? So simply, if you use blue, that will create an ambient that you are professional. But this is of course somebody of you could agree with me, somebody you don't. But usually I know from experience that yes, indeed, cold colors like blue, or in this case no color, so black is looks professional. Um, in case of emotions, of course, your school have different logos, so I do not suggest changing your logo and select the color. That would be more appropriate. I'm not saying this. However, remember that, for example, a button for clicking for the potential client of yours who will read the email can be in a color that represents an emotion that you want to inspire. So just bear this in mind, that if you want to be, if you aim your company at young people, optimistic people, children, teenagers, so you can try with more vivid colors. If you are dealing with, older crowd, so think about trust, peacefulness, and balance. This is just how people are. So if you are aiming the company, and if it's, for example, about summer courses, and if it's a summer camp, so this is a clear message with, for example, orange colors, yellow or red. And if it's a course for business English, as I told you before, so I would rather go by trust and balance, or by black, so professionalism. Okay, so what about how people they are reading your emails? How people are reading newsletters, and in general, how people are looking at the information. So there's something called F pattern, and this is a study by a Polish company. Those stains here in colors, they usually form letter F. That's why it's called F pattern. And as you can see, people they focus their attention on the top of the message, on the first headline, and more they read, the more they scroll down, the less they're interested in. This was checked how? I will explain, because some of you could wonder how this was checked. There's something called eye tracker. This is connected with a camera of a web camera, for example, and of course to a screen. So people are shown newsletters, people are shown ads, and this eye tracker and camera is watching their eyes and watching their movements. So it can be, later on, it can be inserted on the picture this way. So remember, the first important message that you want to send about the new offer, about the benefit of learning at your school, place as the first. It can be obvious, some of you could say, but I'm really watching a lot of ads, language schools and not language schools, and sometimes even very big corporations that are forgetting about it. And I will show you this to you in a second when I will compare two ads from Polish operators of mobile phones, and two big operators, multi-million companies, and one of them they made a mistake, and a very big one. Here as well, this is a newsletter, another one. So if there is a frame, this is this example, if there is a headline and a frame, so attention is kept again on the upper side of the newsletter. So in this case, for example, as you can see, those parts are really not seen by the people. So they just skip this part. So I suggest that if you have a very long newsletters, all the most important things that you simply put as a headline and as a frame, for example, in the beginning. The next example, it's a newspaper. It's not a good newspaper, but it's a newspaper that people buy. So it was also a test. So as you can see here, it's very visible that the logo is important part of the message, because it's marked with a big circle. This is how people's eyes were moving. So their attention was focused on the headlines and on the logo. And sometimes, this is a picture with headline. In case of the news, this is sometimes even more important than the text itself. Think about yourself. Think about how you read sometimes news on the website. You sometimes read only the headline and you don't read the text. And this is bad, I know. And I'm doing this the same, but this is how we are constructed. This is how people are. So if you want to send a clear message, if you want to gain interest of the person that you send the message to, think about big headlines, because it really works. And so my tips: place the most valuable info on the upper part, right? This was already shown on this study. Use the contrast. So play with colors, play with contrast. Remember to make the text visible. So it's good to place white letters, white font on the black background, and vice versa. Never use colors. For example, never put yellow font on other colorful background, because it will disappear. It will be difficult to read, and sometimes I get very colorful newsletters, very colorful offers, and I'm just tired. My eyes, because I'm using the computer a lot during the day. So if I get a message, and even if I'm uninterested and I open the message, if my eyes hurt, so I'm just shutting this down, right? So I'm not reading anymore. So it needs to be user friendly, let's say. It's a good idea also to add a photo or infographics. In your case, an infographics about the benefits of learning the language, for example. A photograph of your teachers, a photograph of your classroom. Add something to the newsletter, add something to an offer. Just not let it be a text without nothing else. Because when I'm sometimes receiving newsletters from language schools, so all I see is a frame and text that looks like from 90s. I feel like using Windows 98 back again. So I don't like that. People like pictures, and they like pictures that also send a message. So search through stock photos, look for a photo that will be appropriate for mailing, or simply take one yourself. Hire a photographer, or if you have a good camera and if you know how to make pictures, just do it and insert a photograph that will tell something more to people. Another tips how to get people's curiosity. Numbers, of course, discounts, prices. It's always good to tell people right away how much it would be, because sometimes language schools are afraid of presenting the prices, and it's not a good idea, because you have to present the price and then explain people why they should pay this. Present all the benefits. But if you first say, get the discounts for our services, so people, they don't know if they will find a course for them. For example, business English, if you don't tell them, they wouldn't know, so they will be less interested in clicking the message. For example, of course, if they see, okay, now 500 euros the course, learn in 6 months like you would learn in 1 year in another school. This is only a free idea that I have right now. But remember about presenting big numbers, they just get people's attention. As I already told you, the logo should be on the top, and I will show you in a second why with the example. And remember to, if you have a long newsletter, try to divide it into sections, or simply try to make it as short as possible, because you saw what happens with eye tracking. People are looking only on the first 2 links, so they're more likely to click the two first links. We sometimes send a large newsletter, and we can see that people are clicking usually first or second link. The rest is not even noticed. So yeah, this is actually working, and we have our own confirmations. Probably you have your own confirmations too, as per marketers. And the last one, C2A button, so call to action. This is a shortcut often used in marketing. Should be always separated from the text. It should be standalone. It should be visible and easy to click, because if people see some other graphics near, if they see other text, other frames, so they will be distracted and they won't click the button that you'd like them to click. Simple as that. Okay, so examples of the logo. This is a phone offer. This is an old study, but it's still actual, because our way how we behave with ads, it's not changing so fast. So this is an example from one of the operators. Here, this is correct. The logo was noticed. It was noticed. This means for companies, so it's also noticed. The phone itself is the main focal point here. The benefit, which means speak for free, of course it's not for free, but it's a marketing trick, right? And people were looking at the button to check the offer, and even some of them, they were looking at the conditions and information about the company. So let's say that this is a very good ad because it's very simple. It's a clear message here. There's a clear call to action button, and people were noticing all the elements that marketers wanted them to see and click, notice, right? Another example is a bad one. It's again an operator. It's Orange in this case, so you probably know Orange. Here, there's no logo on the top. It's here, and it's not even noticed. People didn't know what the company was when they were asked, right? People noticed the company, noticed the price and the phone itself. Some of them, but less than here, noticed some kind of a offer, the name of the plan here, but it's really not important here, because the most important thing is for them to notice the company and click the button. And people were thinking that it was Nokia's ad, not Orange's, right? So simply, this is a wrong campaign, because people were thinking that it's a different company, and you don't want to do this, because you want to let people know right away that it's you. So always logo on the top. I suggest left upper corner. It's a natural way to put the logo there. Okay, so let's skip to another part. So those are tools for email marketing. I will show you a bit of MailChimp and Active Trail for now, but I'll list it 3 of the most interesting ones in my opinion. Of course, this is a subjective opinion, as all the opinions are, but you can find more at buildfire.com email marketing tools. I can send you a link later on. You can learn about almost all of them that have some value, but I selected 3 of them because of the interface, because of the plans, etc. Active Trail, Mailjet, and MailChimp. And I would like to show you. For a second those interfaces. So let's go for a second to MailChimp. Some of you probably know MailChimp. This is a very easy and very clear structure here. What I like about MailChimp the most, those are the A/B campaigns. And what's an A/B campaign? I will show you in a second. Let's go to campaigns. Of course, before you start a campaign, you need to really add leads. So you can import them from Excel. This is very easy to use. You just need to go to mailing lists, upload from Excel all your leads. You can divide them into groups, into segments, so you can select different kinds of people for different purposes. Your actual students, your potential clients, your former students, things like that. So if you want to send a message, let's create a campaign. Everything's here described, so it's really easy to navigate. There's nothing difficult here really. And we have an option to select the campaign. Now I will select A/B testing campaign to show you one of the best features I think there are about this system. And of course, the biggest advantage of MailChimp here is that it's a really popular one. So there's a lot of ways to connect this service with different. For example, Facebook, as I told you before. Let's select an A/B testing campaign, and right away we will be asked about to whom we would like to send the message. Of course, we have some kind of lists, for example, leads from Poland here, and we just click next. And I want to show you the options that MailChimp offers you in case of testing. So first of all, we need to decide what we would like to test, divide into A, B, or C test. For example, subject line. Different subject lines of the email can affect in a different way. So you can see how different subjects will how people will react, and select the best one. So for example, I select 2 subject lines, and I decide that I would like to send the test to, let's say, 15% of all my leads. This means that it will be 398 from 2,258 in this case, right? Okay. And we can set how the winning combination will be determined. It can be an automatic one, so the rest of the emails will be sent to the winner subject line in this case, or we will decide on our own. If, for example, the difference is like in 1% or less, and we like something more, so then we select manually. But if we would like to leave this to the system, so I suggest click rate, because it's well, it tries the best how the email was, if the email was successful. And I usually recommend more than 4 hours, at least 12. If we go next, we will be asked to call somehow test. We'll call it test random, like this, and we have to fill email subjects. And for example, the second, for example, like this. I'm just giving an example of how to read, of course, our names and our emails. We can decide how will we track our message. So opens, clicks, we can connect with Google Analytics, we can connect with some other services of e-commerce, we can, for example, click tail tracking. There are a lot of ways to connect, but I suggest the two first are the most valuable ones for a language school. So how many people simply click through? Even if they don't sign up, how many people clicked? This is a valuable lead. You can mark this lead, you can save it later on as a segment of the people who were really interested because they clicked. This is, for example, how we do it. And of course, after you're done with settings, you need to create the actual message. Of course, there is a lot of templates that you create on your own. So you have structures that you would like, themes that you would like to select, and then you add your own pictures, logos, information. But you also can use some prepared themes by MailChimp. So simply, you can look for interesting parts. Let's say I would like this. So you don't even have to create this on your own. Just select the template that we like. We can get rid of the logo, and here modify the objects. Insert our graphics, insert our text. In the footer, change the info, and of course don't forget about the logo. For example, this is very easy. I'm just deleting the information here and selecting a file from the list of my files. You need to upload them first. Let's just look for a logo. Okay, there's Langdon's logo. Insert. Done. Look how quick this is. So you just insert your content, your pictures, your icons, whatever it is, buttons with different links. You can multiply, you can delete, you can do whatever you want. So for example, you can change the design, colors, fonts, frames, a lot to play with. And of course, you can upload here your own template and always use the same. We have, for example, for our mailings, we usually have few templates for different situations. For newsletter, we have one template. For offer, we have another one. You can have as many as you wish, but you can save your own, you can create your own, or you can use ready to use ones. And of course, before we send, we need to confirm, we need to accept, and we add the messages to the queue. Later on, we get the results in the scores, And if it's a manual selection of the winner of the A/B test, we just click what we choose and we accept. If it's automatic, so it happens right away automatically, and later on we analyze the results. And we see the results because we get the message or not, right? So this is the first program software I suggest. MailChimp, probably you heard of it, probably you used it, but it's a really nice one. Okay, let's just leave MailChimp for now, and I'll show you another Active Trail. This is a nice software too. I'm using a free trial right now. Let's see what's the best about the system. Of course, it works in a very similar way to MailChimp because you just upload your contacts, you create groups of people, but there's something called automations, which I like very much. For example, let's add a new one, and I will show you what happens. We select what happens with after somebody performs an action. So for example, if somebody subscribes to our newsletter, somebody unsubscribes, somebody celebrates birthday or a date, for example, they're with you for 1 year on the online course, and because of this you send to all people who have more than 1 year, for example, with your school, you send a special offer. You can, for example, send an automatic message when somebody submits a form. So somebody sends you an information with a form from the website, and then he gets an automatic email saying, "Thank you. This is your details. Review." Somebody will contact you now. So, for example, let's click on the contact subscribes, and here we, when somebody signs up and gets automatically to one of our groups, or we add manually somebody's lead to the system, because, well, sometimes we do this manually because we receive a message from our colleague, "Oh, add this guy because he's interested, maybe he would like some offer on the email." So you can make it manual, you can make it automatically, and you select what happens after an action is performed. In this case, if somebody subscribes, you can send them an email, for example. Of course, you need to customize it. An email mail, for example, "Hello, nice to see you." We header, email subject, "Hello, students, it's nice to see you." You can, of course, add emojis, emails that you send this message from, and you design the email. You use a template, or you create your own, or you use HTML editor, and you create it from the very basics yourself. So it really depends on the level of if you're advanced user or not. Okay? Right, so if we select, for example, this one, you can leave the graphics as it is, you can change, of course, you can replace, but somebody, even you can do it with "Thanks, for example, thank you for signing up," and then the rest of the message, for example, or a link for a special offer, or a coupon, a code that can be used for a deal. It's really up to you from now. But I suggest that you try Active Trail and try the automations, because if you have a big school, that will help a lot, especially because some of the actions you would have to perform manually. You just prepare automatic email and you wait for the people to sign up. Of course, it all needs to be configured. You need to connect it with your website, with your email, with forms, etc. And it will be working then. Another part of Active Trail that is worth your interest, those are landing pages. Landing pages, those are well, the pages that people see after signing up, for example. Signing up to, okay, I have only one landing page because this is a demo, alright. So let's just preview. what I did before. I remember this. Okay, I used a template, so let's just edit it. Okay, so I just selected a template as before. I can edit the elements, I can insert my text, my graphics, and for example, if somebody clicks in the email that he would like to sign up, he will be shown such a simple website with all the essential information, and for example, with an option to sign up or select course, insert all the data. You could see all, for example, the offers that you have and select the best one. It's really it offers a lot of opportunities to advertise the best your offer, your courses. So landing page, and of course then it can be connected. It can be connected with a test, and it can be connected uh, with with your website and with email, basically. There's also something like a thank you page. This is more advanced, but you can. I don't know if you remember, after you logged in, sorry, after you're subscribed for this webinar, you got a thank you message, and you are encouraged to start a trial or to read our blog. So it works in a very similar way. We have our own ways how to do it, but you have ready to use tools in ActiveTrail. So I suggest a free trial in case of this software, and you can play with it. You can read manuals. You can contact people how to use it, or simply you can click through because it's really easy to use, but you need to read everything. You need to get used to the functions. Of course, in here you do the same as in MailChimp and any other tool for mailing. So you need to add your contacts, group them, and prepare your templates, and then select people. But here, those automations, as I emphasize, I really like them. And disclaimer: I don't get paid by ActiveTrail or Mailchimp. I just like those products, so I suggest that you try them. And of course, Langlion, some of you know it. It also can be used for marketing, for mailings, but it can be used for mailings to your actual clients and to your former students. So if you'd like to try Langlion, I will be happy to show you how to use our system to remarket and how to send messages. Okay. I also would like to show you a few examples of beautiful email design. This is on HubSpot, and this is an article that you can find on your own. Just write 13 of the best examples of beautiful email design. You can see that later yourself on your computer. But really, some of them, they are very inspiring and they are very well designed, especially. And this design, as you can see, this is minimalist. So clear message on the graphics. This is like a newsletter. And people are encouraged also to share the information, and it was really shared because it got to HubSpot. If something, and in general, if something appears on HubSpot, it's good. I can tell you. Starbucks, for example. Of course, this is not a language school, this is a different profile, but I'm just giving you an idea of the design. You think, okay, but I don't have as much money as Starbucks does. Maybe you don't. But really, this kind of graphics can be done by a professional graphic in your countries, in your neighborhood. Really, people have a lot of talents, so you can just ask around and find somebody that would create something creative for you. Or if you feel advanced enough with Photoshop, with CorelDRAW, for example, or Illustrator from Adobe, so you can play it yourself. You can take a photo, as I told you, and add some font, minimalist way, and it will be a nice idea, really, to place it in a newsletter or in an offer. Okay, I will not scroll through all of them because I really want you to visit this site and see those messages carefully. Also, there's an option, for example, to insert a GIF It's more complicated. You need to work more on it. However, it's worth it because it really stands out of the crowd. It's more characteristic than a simple frame with some text, which you usually receive. So on my part, that today this is everything. I thank you for your attention. I hope that you got reminded about some of the important things that you need to do. You learned something new, for example, about this F pattern. You learned about my tips and tricks, and you will use the tools that I showed you to run a campaign. And of course, I encourage you to write me an email if you have some specific questions. If you'd like me to analyze something for you, I'm happy to help. I really like this topic. And so if you'd like to consult with me about your newsletter or about your campaigns, feel free to add me as a person who subscribes to your newsletter. My email address you already know. You got it several times probably. But if you don't remember, so this is Mike at langline.com. You can send me an email and ask me about anything. And of course, I encourage you to check our software because it also can be used for email marketing and communication in general. Next week, I will do a presentation, a webinar about Langline and its communication functions and how to build positive relations with the client. So I also invite you cordially to this webinar of mine, and for sure you'll get an email because I have your leads, and this is the clue: leads and well thought through campaign. No rush. You can take your time and design carefully everything. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have some questions for now, if you'd like me to give you some tips about specific things, just let me know. If not, so I'm signing off, and I hope to see you next time.